Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tackling the single most frustrating, heart-stopping moment in travel sales. And honestly, we're going to completely flip the script on it. Our goal today is to transform you from a passive order taker into a highly confident consultant. Let's dive right in, because if you've been in the travel industry for more than a week, you know exactly the moment I'm talking about. You're staring at your screen, holding your breath, just waiting for the client to say yes. Right, so here's the scenario. You've spent hours, maybe even days, crafting the absolute perfect itinerary. You've totally nailed the dates. You found that perfect little boutique hotel. The flight times are flawless. You get on the phone, you present this beautiful trip. You reveal the price, and then crickets. Finally, your client drops this dreaded, heart-sinking phrase, "I'll think about it." It takes the wind right out of your sails, doesn't it? Now, there's this massive gap between what we hope will happen and what actually happens in this exact moment. Most agents have this expectation, well, I'll give them some space, they'll review it with their spouse, and they'll call me back tomorrow to book. But let's be real about the reality here. Ending the conversation right there almost always means you literally just lost the sale. They ghost you, they end up booking it themselves online, or they just let the whole idea fizzle out entirely. Section 1. Decoding the real meaning. What clients really mean. To fix this massive leak in your business, we first have to look under the hood and see what's actually going on. Let's use a really simple definition to clarify this. I'll think about it is what we call a hesitation. It's a smokescreen. It is not a hard rejection. They aren't saying, no, I absolutely hate this. It simply means they have an unspoken concern, a point of confusion, or there's just a lack of urgency to hand over their credit card right this very second. Basically, they want the trip, but there's a hurdle they just aren't voicing yet. And that brings us to the biggest trap agents fall into, the passive mistake. This happens when an agent instantly relinquishes control of the conversation and hangs up the phone or ends the chat prematurely. And why do we do this? Well, mostly because we want to avoid feeling pushy or salesy, right? We mistakenly believe that asking a single follow-up question is somehow aggressive. But by stepping back, you're actually leaving your clients stranded in their own confusion. Section 2. The fast fix strategy. Guiding to a yes. Okay, so the antidote to that passive mistake is what we call consultative control. Now, your goal is never ever to pressure the client. That's just not what good travel agents do. Instead, consultative control means keeping the conversation naturally open. You're positioning yourself as a highly helpful guide whose only job is to uncover what they're truly thinking about so you can help them navigate it. You are steering the ship here. You're not abandoning it. So the absolutely crucial part is how we actually execute this. It's a simple 3-step mental pivot. Step 1, acknowledge what they said without adding any pressure. Step 2, ask a soft, open-ended follow-up question. And Step 3, listen really closely to uncover their real roadblock. By doing this, you effortlessly bridge that hesitation gap and keep the dialogue flowing naturally. Let's look at exactly what this sounds like with some real-world scripts. Of course, just so I know I'm on the right track, what part are you needing to think over? The hotel, the dates, or the budget? This script is incredibly effective. It brilliantly gives the client a multiple choice menu. You see, sometimes clients don't even know why they're hesitating, and giving them this menu helps them pinpoint exactly what's holding them back, all without making them feel interrogated. Now, let's look at script option number 2. I totally understand. Usually when my clients say that, they're unsure about the price or the flight times. Is one of those holding you back? What I absolutely love about this response is that it normalizes their hesitation. It tells them, hey, it's totally fine to pause here. Other people do it too. It strips away their defensiveness while gently probing for that real hidden objection. And here is option 3. Makes sense. What's the biggest question mark still lingering for you right now? This one is a bit more direct for sure, but it's still wonderfully warm. It's confident, it's professional, and it positions you perfectly as the expert problem solver who's ready and willing to clear up any confusion right there on the spot. Section 3. The psychology of trust. Why these phrases work. Now, you might be wondering why these specific phrases work like magic. Well, there are 3 psychological pillars at play here. First is trust. By acknowledging their need to think, you validate their feelings and immediately remove the pressure. Second is clarity. By asking that soft question, you transition from a vague, I'll think about it, to actually uncovering the tangible hidden objection, like a bad flight time or a budget constraint. And finally, control. By asking the question, you, the agent, stay in the driver's seat of the sale rather than handing the keys over to a confused client. Section 4.
Crucial do's and don'ts, a rapid-fire recap.
Let's lock this new knowledge in so you're 100% prepared for your next client call. Do not drop the ball by saying, okay, take your time and let me know. That's the passive mistake, and honestly, that's where bookings go to die. Instead, do say, of course, what part are you needing to think over? Always respond with a helpful, open-ended question to uncover their hesitation. Real quick, before we wrap up, if this fast fix explainer helped you feel more confident about handling tricky sales situations, I need to know. Drop the word "more" in the comments below right now so I know to create similar actionable trainings for you in the future. And finally, if you're truly ready to stop losing sales to hesitation and start taking total consultative control of your travel business, click the link in the description for even more tools and resources. I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought. If you don't care enough to ask them what they're worried about, why should they care enough to book with you? Think about that for your next consultation. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.